Hello, we are the Ministry of the Real Truth New Zealand, and we are appealing to all fellow Kiwis, New Zealand patriots, New Zealanders, to help us help these people, our fellow Kiwis and their children, who are in need of food because of dire straits, different circumstances, and over expensive vegetables, etc. at our local supermarkets like New World or Countdown. Like, it's ridiculous. You go to get one lettuce and it's $5. A small punnet of cherry tomatoes and it's like almost $9, or between $7 and $9. A pumpkin from another shop, half a pumpkin, sometimes close to $4. It's just getting out of hand. It's getting ridiculous. Okay, so we're asking, help us to help them. We have an idea or a plan in action, but because we're based at a rather small Kāinga Ora or HNZ house, and they have their new policy, right? We're under a new policy set of rules that we can't really have a business there, or else you end up having to pay market rent. We've got it pretty good because you've got the cheap rent, right? But there's other people out there who haven't got it so good, okay, and they might have a big family, 3 or 4 kids, might be a solo parent or something like that, and they're struggling. So yeah, we're appealing to you to help us. We notice that there's a lot of unused ground or lawn paddock not being used, and we'd like to appeal to whoever can help us also so we can complete our plan in the previous video about new government, new community idea. Help us find a way to get a bigger premises and dig it all up, make an organic garden and plant like crazy, natural organic vegetables and herbs, pesticide free, because that's what we're doing at the moment at our small home base. Okay, we just don't have the room. We do have a certain amount of room, but it's not enough, right? Okay, on a mass scale, and to do this plan to help these people out here. Okay, because people are going hungry, even though New Zealand produces enough food to feed 40 million. And it's spurring calls for the country to feed the 5 million first. Yeah, in regards to exporting food, they should not export until they've fed their people. Okay, easier said than done, I guess. Almost 40% of adults and 19% of children in New Zealand don't have enough food. So we want to solve that, or at least help, right, by this plan that we have. So this is a call out to all New Zealanders, those who have the know, those who have that power to help us. Okay. Poverty researcher Dr. Rebecca Graham said while working on her thesis on food insecurity, she interviewed a woman who walked for 90 minutes each day to get a free community meal. That's commitment, man. Like what we do when you're hungry, right? Okay, that was her only meal of the day. It was all she was eating. Others went without to make sure their children had food, or were constantly trying to stretch food to make more meals from it, she said. Graham said the people she interviewed had a grim acceptance that this was normal. They would have loved high quality meat, and they would have loved to have regular fresh fruits and veggies. Okay, well, we could try, I could do it singularly, but it's better if you do it as a group. It makes it a hell of a lot easier and puts those products out there for these people faster, right? Veggies and herbs and stuff. Okay. Plus, I'm no good at growing kumaras. Surprise, surprise for New Zealand Maori. Yeah, totally hopeless. And potatoes, useless. Okay, so, someone out there could probably re-educate me and say, well, this is why. All the soil here is good, but it's just that it doesn't seem to grow. Plus, it's winter time at the moment. Might get the little spuds from the peelings, right? Okay, these people would love to have had high quality meat, and they would have loved to have regular fresh fruits and veggies. About 33% of New Zealand adults say they face moderate food insecurity, experiencing uncertainty about whether they'll have enough food or choosing cheaper, often nutritionally poor items. Yeah, you can get some good deals at different places, like the Mad Butcher, etc., or bulk, but when you really look at it, 80% of it is fat. Okay? That's why it's a deal. Okay. About 7%, okay, what does it say there? About 33% of New Zealand adults say they face moderate food insecurity, experiencing uncertainty about whether they'll have enough food or choosing cheaper, often nutritionally poor items. Yeah, well, if you can't afford the best or near best, well, you got to go cheap and nasty, right? About 7% of New Zealanders experience. What do you read there? Okay, did I? No, about 7% of New Zealanders experience severe food insecurity, meaning they run out of food and go without for a day or more. For a long time, it was mostly beneficiaries who experienced food insecurity, but that had changed, Graham said. You've got families. You've got families on minimum wage who are paying market rent, which is actually quite high. Right, you get this small wage. You got to work like a monkey, right, to earn it. Okay, sometimes in nasty situations with bosses or supervisors that are just pig-headed, right? Okay, I know this because I can speak this from experience. Yeah. You've got families on minimum wage who are paying market rent, and it might be in on a property, and you're paying ridiculous prices for a 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom. And it's leaky and all that sort of stuff, meaning they run out of food and go without for a day or more. For a long time, it was mostly beneficiaries who experienced food insecurity, but that had changed, Graham said. You've got families on minimum wage who are paying market rent, who have to live in the city because that is where their job is. Some of these people are essential workers, so you need them in the city if you want your city to function. And when the cost of living keeps rising, but your wages don't, and when rent skyrockets, the food budgets get capped. Okay. So you're doing a lot and getting very little, but you're getting charged a high rent, because of location or whatever. And then the food on top of that is like expensive as, or as I said, 80% fat or nutritionally poor. New Zealand produces enough food to feed 40 million people, exporting much of it, including $16 billion worth of dairy, $3.7 billion worth of beef, and $3.9 billion worth of sheep meat a year. Export prices often push up prices charged for food in New Zealand. That doesn't sound right. Auckland University of Technology Emeritus Professor of Nutrition Elaine Rush said she had seen New Zealand fruit and vegetables sold cheaper in Britain than they were here. Yeah, they're expensive as here, but cheaper there. Rush has matched data on food and beverage exports and imports to nutritional needs and said what she found was eye-opening. She said, we are exporting high nutrient proteins and fats and importing foods, and these aren't great from a nutrition standpoint, like carbohydrates and sugars. As a result, we're fat, famished or starved in a land of plenty, she said. In a paper on the topic, she suggests a country that can produce more than enough high quality food should feed its own first. Yeah, and that's why we have a party called New Zealand First, a parliamentary party. After New Zealanders had enough good quality food, then we can actually start thinking about looking after the rest of the world as well, because the trickle down effect hasn't been working, has it? Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I see those help the children appeals. Okay, save the children funds, all that, right? Going to help others overseas first, when it should be really helping the people at home first, right? Okay, the responsibility for those people lies on their government. Okay, but there's people in that country who rebels, etc., or others that go across the lands and harass these people, steal all their stuff, give them a hard time, create wars, and famines arise and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's understandable, but yeah, charity should start at home first, and then the rest of the world, right? Okay. All this money we get from these exports doesn't seem to be making it easier for those at the bottom of the socio-economic ladder, she said. Ruth said the food production sector needed to be reorientated, and she questioned whether, with a growing population, New Zealand was producing enough vegetables to provide 5 servings a day for everyone. While there are a number of initiatives such as community gardens, food banks, and even programs to distribute food waste to hungry people, Graham said each had its pros and cons, and most didn't address what was at the heart of the issue: a lack of money. Yeah, money to do that, to get it here and there, is possibly a difficulty. So what I would do, what I had as a plan, was my closest neighbours, I don't know who they are, I don't really care who they are, I care for them, but I don't really care who they are, black, white, green, purple, multicoloured rainbow, right? If I have spare vegetables, I don't have to go and tell them, hey, here's some vegetables. I can do that, the old approach. But I can also just put a pumpkin in their letterbox or something, if I've got a spare pumpkin, okay? Because I plant seeds, pumpkin seeds. Summertime they come up, they do really well. I got maybe 10 pumpkins, if I did it right. Am I going to eat 10 pumpkins? I don't think so. I might, have a big family, but if there's only 2 of us here, or 3 of us here, or a couple of visitors, I don't think we'll be going through a pumpkin a day or a pumpkin a week, right? So, it's a attitude of gratitude to Mother Earth, or Gaia, or what do you want to call it, or the universe. You give, the more you give, the more you'll receive, right? None really have come back with anything, to say thank you, but that's okay. It's not about that. Some have, like this lady down the road gave us tomatoes, this tomato plant, or 2 or 3 of them, and they had I don't know, toms or something, and cherries. The toms went really mad, so I gathered them up just before winter, because they start dying off, the plant starts dying off, and stuck it on her doorstep. She come around with chocos later on, she says, oh, did you see the tomatoes that were left on your doorstep? Because I knocked and no one answered, right? Which is kind of concerning, but she's got one of those security doors. And she said, yeah, thanks for that. Oh, it was you, thanks for that. Yeah. Did you give me a big bag of chocos? I just got some out of a what do you call it, food bank type cupboard, right, up the road, just to try them out, see if I could grow them. And she turns up with 5 or 6 of them that she'd grown. So I was like, oh, how do you grow that? Because if I grow that, then maybe I've got chocos, right, and I can give them back to her. Oh, we can see I just plant them in the ground. It's got some sort of leaf on it, just plant them in the ground. Okay. So while there are a number of initiatives such as community gardens, food banks, and even programs to distribute food waste to hungry people, Graham said each had its pros and cons, and most didn't address what was at the heart of the issue: a lack of money. Is that lack of money on behalf of the people, or lack of money on these groups doing that, right? Getting it to the people. We need to rethink how we distribute wealth across the country so that all our citizens can do well. How this reorientation could work in practice was another matter. Yeah, I've got ideas, I've got a plan. If someone wants to get hold of me, or look at my video, the video I put up, new government, new community, help me with that one. Get hold of me, leave a comment down the bottom, say hey, talk to us. Okay. One study modelled the effect of introducing taxes on unhealthy foods. such as sugar, while subsidising the cost of fruit and vegetables by 20%. It found such a scheme would deliver significant health gains. Yeah, I thought about that, like why not have the cost of crappy food, high as price, and then the better nutritional food, lower, right? But yeah, there may be factors why that can't be. Yeah. People deserve to be paid for their product they provide, they create, whatever. Okay, and get out there. Okay. Yeah, taxes on unhealthy foods like sugar and salt and all that, right? Okay. There have also been calls for a national food strategy. The Aotearoa Circle, a think tank with public and private sector partners, is tackling a strategy and has appointed KPMG as the secretariat. Okay. KPMG's global head of agribusiness in Proudfoot, sounds like a US Indian name. Wonder. Is leading the project and has a personal interest in good nutrition. In 2017, he suffered a heart attack, and while recuperating, he met many people living with heart disease. He was able to change his diet after his heart attack, but many people he met couldn't afford to. Our food system at the moment is delivering very poor health outcomes to many New Zealanders. The stats are well known. We've got some of the worst rates globally, and particularly amongst developed countries, in relation to things like obesity, diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. Yeah, too many McDonald's out there, too many takeaways. Do we need that many takeaways, say on Dominion Road, like Winston Peters once said, Asian restaurants and takeaways? Right, too many McDonald's on every corner. They're all positioned really because the land, that corner foot traffic, but it's not so much about the burgers apparently. It's about the location. Okay. Our food system at the moment is delivering very poor health outcomes to many New Zealanders. The stats are well known. We've got some of the worst rates globally, and particularly amongst developed countries. In relation to things like obesity, diabetes, and cardiovascular disease, our food system has undoubtedly put quite significant pressure on some of our natural assets, particularly our water. New Zealand food exports made the country 46.6 billion in 12 months to February, and that scale of food production complicated matters, he said. We have a food system that's incredibly complex compared to most countries, and particularly compared to any other developed country, because we do rely so heavily on it to create our wealth. Okay, there's a lot of land out there, right? I wouldn't dig up land and plant stuff near a motorway because of that gas emission, all that sort of stuff. That's silly. But it could be different if all the cars were electric. Yeah, that'd be way different, right? Way better. You could use that. Someone monitor it, etc., etc. So someone doesn't come along and grab it all, and make money off that. Some greedy so-and-sos. There's different things out there you could do, right? What started as a strategy for food has grown into a much bigger task, Proudfoot said. It quickly became evident what was needed was an understanding of food's role in our country, and any strategy needed to look at not just issues like food security, but economics, the environment, and culture. If you're looking for an ocean to boil, it's this one. It crosses almost every ministerial portfolio. There's 31 primary agencies in government with a role in the food system. The group had talked to some of the government agencies already. Some were more receptive than others, Proudfoot said. The idea of feeding the 5 million first has also been floated at agricultural gatherings, and it resonated with the sector, Proudfoot said. It's a freaking good idea, man. Rather than using legislation to enforce such a concept, the sector could adopt it as part of ensuring the New Zealand brand has a good story to tell, Proudfoot suggested. Instead of relying on them, right? Each person go out there and do it themselves. Grow something and give it to your neighbour, right? And then those neighbours grow something, and give it to the other neighbours, and then it just spreads like that, pass it forward, right? Food insecurity would not be solved in 1 or 2 years, he said. Food insecurity would not be solved in 1 or 2 years. Everything takes time, he said. But over time, the best case scenario was a New Zealand food system which was environmentally sustainable and provided New Zealand with the nutrition needed for good health and at an affordable price. It would also create prosperity for the country. The worst case scenario is we continue on our current track, but our ability to access premium markets becomes increasingly compromising. The worst case scenario is we continue on our current track, but I'm sure that's supposed to be our ability to access premium markets becomes increasingly compromised because we're either not getting the health issues right, or we're not getting the environment issues right, or we're not meeting our expectations that our customers who pay us a premium for what we produce have on us. Okay. So again, this is the Ministry of the Real Truth in New Zealand doing a call out, a plea to those out there in the know, those who have the authority, the power to make those changes, to help us, right? Get a bigger premises, bigger space, so we can dig it up, create a garden, or natural pesticide free, etc. To help these people that are struggling, especially these children. They're the ones that suffer the most. Okay, there's a little girl here looking at an empty fridge. Okay, say, oh, that's just a picture, but yeah, it could be a real scenario. Someone I was talking to about it, a friend, she's, oh no, I don't believe it. I think the statistics are fake. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think New Zealand is going to put something on the news like that. Get the odd one that tells a fib or whatever, does something dodgy. But yeah, this is a serious matter. You can get a lot of poo-poo if you think you can do that and get away with it. You get found out, you get crap, right? But yeah, help us out to help these people. We're doing our thing from our little residence. Okay, we've got a system in place where we can help other people that come, that visit, but we're working on our neighbourhood because that's the closest to us. It's easy for us to just go dump a pumpkin or put a pumpkin in a letterbox or carrots or whatever. We're not too good at carrots either, but there might be someone out there that says, well, here's a suggestion, best carrots, how to grow carrots, all that sort of stuff. I just stuck the whole lot in the garden. They start shooting up all the like they're growing, but I don't know. It's kind of weird for winter, but the carrots are growing. But yeah, doing what's that other thing with the microbiotics or something in the soil? We're trying to check all the worms and stuff. We're working on that. But yeah, soil's pretty good, but it's just get the odd bird, the odd cat walking across it. What else? White fly and all that sort of stuff, there's moths, and snails. We don't use any pesticides, so we've got other ideas how to get rid of those sort of bugs. Just got to protect it more, I guess. Probably build a makeshift hothouse and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, that's our plan. That's what we're going to do. It's winter now. We could grow winter vegetables and stuff, but yeah. As soon as spring comes, going to be planting seedlings and stuff. Grow seedlings, and then probably do something through Trade Me. I think it's called Big Bird Seeds. This is the channel. I've got to reopen that one and put it up on there. Yeah, unfortunately I can't leave a link at the moment because I have forgotten the password or something. But all that information's there. So yeah, probably keep you on notice, notify you if that's open. Go do a couple of videos that'll link to that, all that sort of stuff. Okay, so yeah, help us to help them. Okay, notice we're not asking for money. We could do give a little page, but we've done that for something else, and no reaction at all. No, not even 1 cent. Not that we have 1 cent. Not even $1. So I guess it's a certain issue that people, say if you, both arms or legs fall off, which is very serious, right? Not a laughing matter. People contribute to that, right? Or a dying child, or sickly child, whatever. Understandable. Because you got to earn people's trust and all that sort of stuff. People don't want to chuck their money at you. You find out you're a scammer. But yeah, that's what we're not asking for any money. We do have a PayPal account. You can donate to that if you want. Be a Patreon member. We'll even put a bank account number there. ASB. You can donate to that. We'll probably go out in the street, do our ministry, our preaching, teaching, whatever, in the summertime, and be out there. So don't forget what I look like. Handsome as guy. Out there, and on a speaker, a microphone, saying, "We are the Ministerial of the Real Truth, and we are here to tell you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. No fluff, hype, or BS." Yep, that'll be me. Queen Street, probably. Just got to pluck up the courage. I just got to do a few more. What I'm going to say. What I'm going to teach. What I'm going to use to do that. I don't have a decent mobile phone that can take videos and put it online. Ask other people, but they're just too busy on TikTok. They just don't want to help at all, right? It's all about them, how pretty they look, and how far they can push their lips out, right? Pluck the eyebrows and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, so then they help. But yeah, we're working on it. Okay, so this is the Ministry of the Real Truth. So we're appealing to all New Zealanders, all the locals, help us out to help these people, especially these poor children. They're the ones suffering the most. Okay, so if you like this video, subscribe to our channel below, and then make sure that notification bell set so you don't miss out on any of our other videos, forthcoming videos, and then give us one of these or two of these in English, I like. Okay, and then tell your friends, your neighbours, hey man, let's look at this dude's videos, because he's got some good ideas, great ideas, and he's he's a true Kiwi, patriot, etc. Will help others out. Blink of an eye. Okay, I'm doing it all the time. Help people out on a bus, like a Muslim that, I guess he was a Muslim, he came from there, his country. Didn't realise you don't have free buses here, you got to have one of those cards. And he sat there and people were yelling at him, because the bus driver wouldn't move. And he's saying, oh no, this guy's doing the trick. He knows. And he was sort of right, because when he got off here, this guy suddenly spoke English. But that wasn't the concern, right? It was just like, okay, the bus is going to get moving. We want to go somewhere, me and daughter, whatever. So I helped this guy out, and he was really grateful. Stuff like that. You just do it, right? Or you see someone fell over in the street, you don't go, oh, watch out. You help him up. Or you see somebody sitting on the side of the road, give him $1. He's going to spend it on drugs or cigarettes or alcohol, or that's their thing, right? Okay, if they're genuine, you be wary. You decide, right? It's your money, right? But I just flip them a coin, flip them some change. I know they're going to spend it on weed. Sometimes they admit it, The mates come along, oh, what are you doing? Oh, I'll collect your money to buy me some weed, bro. It's like, what the? I just gave this dude $3 and he's going to buy weed. Just be wary. It's totally up to you. But what they do with it is their business, I guess. They're deceiving you, whatever. But with everything, every gift given, right, there's either a reward, benefit from that, or a consequence. So, they're the ones who karma's going to bite on the bottom, right, for doing that sort of thing. Okay. And some people are like out there, you help them, and then they're out there like 10 years later doing the same thing. They just don't want to help themselves, So you got to re-educate these people. Everyone's got issues. That's the thing. They've got life issues, environmental issues. Since being a kid, right up to the adult stage. So that's why they're doing that sort of stuff. It took me a long time to realise that. So that's why I don't, give them a hard time. Whatever their background is, they might have issues. Okay, that's the fact. Okay, so subscribe to our channel and give us a like, set that bell, and then go tell your friends, hey man, this guy is really cool, he's gonna help us, with his ideas. Let's see if he can deliver. Okay.